Have you ever noticed that it's not life you want to escape? It's the weight of staying in it, not pain, not crisis, just the exhaustion of continuing. There's a kind of tiredness that sleep does not touch. It doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from holding too much for too long without relief. People who are tired of existing are often misunderstood. They're told they're depressed, ungrateful, lazy, dramatic. But psychologically, something else is happening. Something quieter, something deeper. This is not the exhaustion of collapse. It's the exhaustion of endurance. There is a form of grief that doesn't announce itself. No funeral, no clear loss, no permission to mourn. Psychology sometimes calls this ambiguous loss, but that term doesn't fully capture it. This is invisible grief. Grief for the version of yourself that never got to rest. Grief for a life that required constant adaptation. Grief for emotional safety that never became permanent. Nothing bad enough happened to justify the fatigue. And that's exactly why it's so heavy. Your nervous system learned to stay alert, responsible, contained, long after the threat was gone. From a psychological perspective, being tired of existing often means this. Your brain is stuck in maintenance mode. You're not chasing joy, you're preventing collapse. The mind shifts from curiosity to containment, from desire to damage control. This happens most often in people who learned early that rest was conditional, emotions were inconvenient, stability depended on them staying regulated, so the body adapted. Not with panic, not with breakdown, but with quiet persistence. And over time, persistence becomes depletion. Carl Jung wrote that what we do not consciously grieve becomes part of the shadow. And the shadow does not scream, it drains. People who are tired of existing are often highly functional. They show up, they do what's required, they don't fall apart. But inside, the psyche is heavy with unlived emotion. Not sadness alone, but suppressed anger, deferred desire, postponed relief. The shadow isn't dark because it's evil. It's dark because it's unacknowledged. An unacknowledged endurance eventually feels like existential fatigue and why nothing feels wrong, but everything feels heavy. This is why many people say, "I don't know what's wrong, my life is fine." Psychologically, that statement is accurate and incomplete because the issue isn't circumstance, it's accumulation. Years of being emotionally self-sufficient, years of anticipating needs instead of having them met, years of staying composed while quietly absorbing impact. The mind begins to associate existence with effort, not living, managing, and management is exhausting. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once warned that life feels long not because it is painful, but because it is poorly inhabited. People tired of existing are often inhabiting life from the neck up, thinking, monitoring, anticipating, rarely resting inside themselves. They are surviving life instead of metabolizing it. And eventually the soul grows tired of being a supervisor, what this tiredness is not. This is important. Being tired of existing does not mean you want to disappear. It means your psyche is asking for relief from constant self-regulation, permission to stop performing stability space where you don't have to hold everything together. This fatigue is not a failure signal. It is a truth signal. One that says, I have carried enough without being carried. You're allowed to stop treating this exhaustion like something that needs to be fixed. You're allowed to stop searching for the right mindset, the right routine, the right explanation that will finally make existing feel light again. And you're allowed to recognize something important. This tiredness was never a flaw. It was the cost of being emotionally responsible for too long, of staying composed when things were heavy, of continuing without being held. You don't need to solve your life tonight. You don't need clarity. You don't even need hope yet. It's enough to understand that this feeling makes sense. Because when exhaustion is named accurately, it stops feeling like failure and starts feeling like information. Not a verdict, a signal. And signals don't ask for punishment. They ask for listening. If this put words to something you've been carrying quietly, comment yes. Not because something is wrong with you, but because you finally recognize the weight you've been holding. And recognition is often the moment the load begins to loosen.